Amit, hi. First of all, a big thank you for agreeing to be a part of our web series called Power Conversations. And this is with founders who've built or building some fascinating businesses. I won't exaggerate, but 3 years ago when we were introduced, and I've spent a lot of time understanding what you are doing, a little bit about your journey. I've always had this bug in me to somehow get you onto this platform and not just talk about the success and the potential size of Car Group, but also share with our listeners, our viewers, some of the unique insights which prompted Car your journey of 13 years. I'm sure there's lots for us to digest in what you've seen as your ups and downs. And as you see where you are today, how this pans out, and then we'll take some questions, what you shared, and I'll come back to you with a little bit more sharper things on your elaboration. So this is what we're going to do, but I'm very glad to have you, and I think I'm a total fan of what you are building, and would love to have the viewers understand what really went into Amit and your brother Anurag's head. You guys, were engineers. You did work in IT company, and then somewhere you said, "Let's look at Cardigo." What was the spark and the genesis of that which led to it?
Thanks for having me over, Rajiv. Firstly, we've been talking about our business for 3 years. Card Deco, the way of in Avatar, you see actually, something that basically evolved over a period of time. If I take you back to 2007 when I started with Anurag, my brother, it was a very different universe. There was no startup world back then. The things did not start with Karthik, I'll be frank. And the thing was around uh, my father actually, I was diagnosed with cancer and in 2006. And me and my brother were, working in Bangalore back then. And my family used to live as a joint family in Jaipur. So I came to back to serve my family, and that's how Girnar was born. So Girnar Soft
Oh,
company name. We started with like this thing like Microsoft, right? Soft is big, Microsoft is big, right? So let's make Girnar Soft our house name, and Girnar is also Temple of James. That's how the
okay.
name Genesis is. So Girnar Soft when it began, the day one I still remember, Rajiv. I think one big thing that happened was ambition. When you start day one, me and my our LinkedIn profiles, saying that we'll build $1 billion company. Two kids, with no infrastructure resources, sitting literally out of our garage. It is a garage company that we started. And coming this far was a big dream. But I think what I've realized in life is, if you aspire to dream big, you probably end up building. As a software company, we realized we would not be able to, kind of get to a billion because it would require so many people to be hired. A lot of so we thought, let's just pick up something which is basically more uh, easy to do with product technology and consumer touch because you don't have to build a large, manpower factory if you were to do outsourcing. It started as an outsourcing firm, and then me and my brother both like cars, and we both went to Auto Expo in 2008, and we saw a lot of cars, and we were planning to buy one at that point. I still remember the first year profits. We bought a BMW 3 Series and gifted it to a grandfather back then in 2007, 2008, sorry. So that is when we visited Expo to search for cars, and then we went online and started googling around the cars that we saw. We couldn't find much. We thought there's a gap, and that's what
Hmm.
inspired us to form Cardeco. We came back with all the catalogs in the dicky of the car, and then we actually punched the catalog into a database and put the site live in like 7 days. That was the first version of Cardeco, only specs, nothing else, and we started getting some traffic, because people like us were also looking around back then. And that's how that was the genesis of Cardigo. It started with our own need, frankly, of searching information, not being able to find it, and then
Correct.
we basically got this into the ecosystem of cars. 2008, so we are quite not like unlike most startups that you would have seen in India. We basically did not start this for uh, raising money. We did not know even that raising money was the concept, right? 2007, nobody used to raise money if you go
That's
back
right.
in time in India. तो हमने बनाया था खुद का धंधा करने के लिए. We wanted to build a good business and we wanted to make our both ends meet, get home loans, EMIs to pay for in Bangalore. So we basically started this business to make money, and we made money every single year. We did not lose money any year. 7 to 13 every single year was a profitable year. And we had learned the art of innovation. What happens in when you have constrained resources, Rajiv? I have realized that the innovation flows more freely because when you're constrained on manpower, when you're constrained on people, when you're constrained on money, you think differently. So what happened was the constraints made Kardiko happen because we realized we are opening a B2C site and we don't have money to spend on marketing to get consumers
Mm.
on the site. So we became, the big rock stars of SEO, big rock stars of social media, big rock stars of how to get free traffic. That's what basically, made Kardiko happen. So that innovation that we did was around
Yeah.
how to get eyeballs without spending a dime.
I want to ask you
Yeah.
this question, and you know, you are young. You were much younger then, and most of the entrepreneurs of that era were focused on consumer apps. Hey, man, I'll build this B2C magic, and I'll do this, and I'll subsidize X, Y, Z. I mean, that's nothing wrong in that thinking and model. I mean, everybody needs to invest to create some scale and traffic. And here you were taking a very traditional, offline, substantially offline transactions happening only offline car or an automobile and trying to create something of a digital business eventually out of it. I mean, that would have felt quite odd. Now, auto trade in the US has got perhaps 10, 15 years more of history than you. I mean, I think they are the first .com era.
Yeah.
And, I think we are following, but with, let's say, a 10, 15 year, now we're catching up. So this was, to me, actually one of the few ones who actually took a very different route to building new business. Didn't it strike you क्या मुझे भी कंज्यूमर करना चाहिए, मुझे भी ये कोई अच्छी फैंसी B2C ऐप, पेमेंट्स ऐप वगैरह वगैरह?
Really, Rajiv, we never were in car transaction. I'll just give you a real journey. We never sold cars. We were a research platform. So we started B2C only. We had a very popular site, and we were not into cars selling or buying cars at all. What you see today, buying selling is a new initiative.
Hmm.
I'm when I go back to 7 to 13, we were just a site which had a lot of traffic, and we
Hmm.
would make a lot of money by digital advertisements Google would put, or we'll get from manufacturers to display
Got
their
it.
cars. And punch in your leads on our platform, and the leads would be sold to these dealers, right? That was the model back then in 13. We were
Hmm.
only online. In fact, there was no brick and mortar at all. We were a software company, IT company, but what happens in an IT company like mine, like ours, the biggest difference is your brain is the only investment in a laptop because you're coding yourself. I was still coding in 13,
Hmm.
and my brother was still coding, and we had a young team around us, and we would code our own site, make a daily release. And I tell the team, we were surrounded by funded players, like Carwale was funded, Zigwheel was Times Group, Gaadi was Naspers Group, Cartrade was another another group funded by Tiger. So what I used to tell the team was, why we are going to win against all these funded players, because we'll change the site daily, means we'll learn daily, and we'll have more chances to fail as opposed to all these funded players who do maybe a monthly release right now. So our genesis was that if you're able to evolve faster, you'll eventually win because you're learning
Hmm.
faster than the competition. Money doesn't matter really because it's your brain power that matters. So that's the genesis of Girnar ethos. Can you be fast, fail fast, and learn fast? If you can do
Hmm.
that, you'll eventually win.
You started Car Dekho in 2007-8, and your first formal investment or first investment was in 2013.
Yeah,
Wow.
and when the investment happened, we had like a 20 crore accrued profit when we picked the first funding, right?
Gosh.
so, so that's how the company, has been a very, true to, business DNA kind of a company. It was never
Got it.
made to, burn money or pick money. 2000, and then I'll tell you also the reason why we picked money later, but we had been number one in traffic from 10 to 13, right? And we were, getting attention of investors, and we were getting term sheets of a couple of $1 million from starting 10.
Hmm.
from various VC funds. I'm not going to name them because I did not take the
Yeah.
term sheet, but I was getting term sheets from everyone, and there was a choice, and me and my brother would discuss, yeah, paper mein naam aayega, let's pick up the money, glory. And my brother would always say, look, they are trusting you to, they're trusting us to take a couple of million, and we have more than that in the bank. Let's trust ourselves. Let's not dilute. So we just
Yeah.
kept on chugging along between 10 to 13 with our own money. In 12, 13, something different happened. We got foreign investors' attention, and there are two trader in America and car sales in Australia. They were scouting around India to find out assets, what sort of scene in India. So I got invited to Atlanta to meet back then the founder of Auto Trader UK, US,
Okay.
called Chip Perry. And I saw a $10 billion auto platform, online auto platform based out of Atlanta first time. And I realized, how big it can be. And that's what inspired me, to come back and build something larger in India. I
Mm.
still remember how awed I was with what I saw in Atlanta. And then, I started, getting a little bit of more global context to read on what's happening, on online auto space. That's when we actually truly started, Car Dekho, honestly.
So,
Yeah.
Amit, you were mentioning your first capital raise, institutional, no angel before that, self-funded, profitable. What drove you to raise money, and what was that you saw in your first 5 6 years of development that gave you that now my ambitions can be far larger? And what did you do with the money, and what did Car Dekho become after that?
So Karthik was basically, once we raised the capital, the dreams suddenly began to have bigger platform. Which say 75 crore in bank back then.
Uh,
The dollar was still 45, 50 back then. With that kind of money, it was insane. I still remember the day it hit our bank. I was running in the office, right? As a kid, you haven't seen that kind of a capital, so what that changed was, suddenly the plans became more ambitious, which
uh,
required more capital.
uh,
Building a large team upfront, investing heavy on product technology upfront for a larger vision.
got it.
So, as an entrepreneur was working on it with his own money, with his capital cycles, he could not even think of investing, upfront on things. It was all had to be profitable, had to pay salaries next month, right? So what I realized was suddenly, the founders were suddenly thinking different, and they were
Mm,
seeing bigger picture on what it can become.
mm,
So with that vision, we started, building our used car business and hired, a big, team on used car channel side to work with our dealers. That was the first big initiative we took to get deep into used cars. We were already good at new cars. We started investing into our enterprise business further and to deepen our relationship with the new car OE and the new car dealers. So heavy look, we are not like factory, right? We are a people factory. Let's put it that way. Our major investment will be always in people. 2 years out, 1 year out of the fundraise, we then started to, think about brand building. How can we be top of mind to people, which was earlier not the priority, but with this kind of money, we did a TV campaign for the first time. I still remember
mm.
that day as a kid, you would look at TV and think, there's a big brand coming on TV. Seeing your own brand was, you're like, yeah, I felt like this, man. This is insane. So we invested in brand building to basically get in top of mind of consumers and people, and we saw immediate results. People were searching car dekho now.
Uh,
And just to give you a context, 90% of car buyers in India go through our platform before they buy a car today. So that was very critical to invest in right places where you could get the returns long term. It was not a short term approach now. Like I have to get performance today. I was hoping for amortized brand build. Third thing we started doing was we started building insurance and finance business and invested heavy on that product technology. We already had a channel team that would meet these dealers. And we realized, there's insane opportunity lying out there. The new car finance is, around 75% of car finance. Bikes is around 45, 50% bikes are financed. And used cars is only 12%. We thought, there's a big opportunity. There's some big jolja here. Why, bikes and new cars, why doesn't the used car fit somewhere in the middle of bikes and, new cars? We realized, there are fundamental issues that, car can solve for the industry, like title transfer. Banks want title transfer to be done by dealers, and they don't want open titles because if they don't have asset collateralized, they can't recover the asset. So they then we realized to build a used car finance business, you have to first build a title transfer business. We actually went deep into, creating the title transfer business first. If we have the title transfer right, then we could give a guarantee to bank, if your title is not, hypothecated, we will bear the risk. And it started there. So while it was a means to an end, without that means we would not have ever reached that end. So I think what happens in India, Rajiv, and in any business for that matter, the problem statement is A, and you discover, the enablers are very different than what it looks in the surface. We realized, going deeper into a business adds more value than trying to scratch the surface. I would recommend anybody who's hearing this and is an entrepreneur, don't try to do too many things at the same time. Do fewer things, but go deep. And we kept on building depth on insurance and finance for next, 3 years, 4 years, deep technology, deep integration with banks, deep integration with insurers. And now we do around 1 million insurances a year. We do now we're the largest aggregator of used car loans in the country. We lend, we source through our channel, and the money comes to our bank, and we give to dealers 150 crores a month. It's one of the largest fintech of the country, which is not known. Karthik is not known as a fintech, but we are largest fintech. We are second largest insurance tech company in the country right now. So what started was, getting that into dealer channel suddenly evolved new horizons to build a business beyond that channel also. We started going B2C. Now Insurance Eco is an asset we have created. We have got loan journeys automated online. So things are evolving, right? And now once we had this capital and we raised another round, with this insurance finance business working really well, new car, taking shape, used car channel business taking shape, we raised another $100 million. And now suddenly we had a lot more capital to even dream bigger. And we realized,
you had a bigger place to run around, huh?
Totally. We started expanding internationally now, Rajiv. With this money, we redeployed the capital into Indonesia and Philippines. So we basically realized there's a big market there, and we could, replicate our technology into new markets. We are now the number one new car player in Indonesia already, and number two in Philippines. So we saw, why a company from India cannot be global, right? So with SEA target, we started, expand horizons. Parallelly in India, our vision was expanding rapidly because we realized that it's a supply constrained market in India. So if we can help our dealers, buy cars, it'll be insane. We started, creating retail stores for the first time. Now, this was the first offline entry of Car Dekho. We created Gadi stores where we basically asked consumers to come, walk in and sell car, take money in an hour. So we basically started building that. Now it was a capital heavy business because you really were buying cars, holding it in inventory, giving it to a dealer, and opening offline retail stores, which have gestation to get profitable. And there's a huge brand build required to do that. So that went into heavy investment zone. We raised another 100. We have raised till date around $240 million with 100 in the bank still. And the business has become very asset heavy. With the new era that is dawning, we started now buying cars and supplying in wholesale to our dealers and making margin there. Now we have started thinking of, what is the real challenge of consumer. From a consumer side, the used car buying is not something easy. He can't trust, is it a good car, bad car. We sort of trust deficit. Let's remove that. So we have now started retailing cars directly to consumers. So there's a retail channel, there is a wholesale channel that we have built. And we basically are now imagining that as India moves ahead in the next 5 to 10 years, mobility will change, landscape will change. So as Car Dekho, we have to lead the show of how mobility is going to evolve in India. The ways of ownership are going to change, right?
Yeah.
So we are basically, going to deploy more capital to change the way mobility is done. It's not necessary to own the asset now. Like, look at our kids. I am already 40 older than me, maybe. But the point I'm trying to make is our kids don't want to own assets anymore. The kids basically are new age kids. They treat it as a service. And I think there will be a cohort emerging in India that will basically not want to really own cars, but use it as a means to an end of mobility.
Yeah.
And there will be a cohort which will still be middle class buying its first car, who still would want to own the asset. There'll be people who would think, I want more in life. I don't want to buy this Alto to start with. Why can't I buy directly, a Brezza to start with in my life, right? Can there be at same Alto EMI? Can I get the next level car? Right? So there'll be, can I get something without a down payment? I know I'm making money, I can afford the EMI, but I don't have down payment collected yet. So you will have to come up with financial product. And that's why I think the partnership of startups in mobility and banks is going to be the critical part of evolving this ecosystem hand in hand. That's why I was saying, you'll be the backbone for, all the banks will be the backbone for building mobility. Because we as, startups or even as mobility solution companies, we are not the ones who will be ever able to get the capital at the cost you guys get. And we are not becoming a bank in any near future in any case, right?
Please don't become a bank.
We have no intention to either, right? We basically want to use the backbone that digital banks can bring forward. I believe the ways 10 years out, people will start buying cars online.
Yeah.
And financial journeys will happen online. The whole transaction will happen online. Trade-ins will happen online.
Sure.
So I believe that there will be a cohort of consumer for each thing, and you have to basically not sit down and think which cohort would be what size and build product for that cohort. And that's what we're doing at Karthik. When we're thinking ahead of time, not now, but 3 years out, the business is going to be very different.
Amit, you talked about that you were able to generate so much traffic. You became the SEO, SEM hustlers in the first 5-6 years. And then you started building a brand when you got your first investor check. I think I'm very curious to understand, what did you do then? And now you've got the biggest icon in the Indian film industry as your brand ambassador. What's been the thought process and journey there?
I think it's been an evolving journey, Rajiv. When we started with no money, there was no marketing, and then marketing became a very critical part. And in our space, as cars, especially used cars, trust is the biggest thing, and you need to basically establish trust. The brand Karthik is getting built around the theme of trust and change. So, like our icons, if you will notice, also like Dravid, trust. Akshay Kumar, a change agent, does different genres of change. It was never too important. As an engineer, I'll be very frank, I really had no clues of how this brand building really works. And I'm a hardcore guy, right? Good news is that we basically, when we got into marketing, given our analytical backgrounds, look, in marketing, I'll be frank, whenever I've asked marketers, many of them, I've always got one answer. This campaign worked. I don't know which part worked, but the 50% money goes for work, 50% doesn't, but I can't measure it really, right? So given the background we carried, I think we were very, very analytical in what works. And I'll just give you an example, right? Whenever a TV slot comes, we have a real-time tracker which tells me how much traffic increased during that slot on the site. Like exactly know how much was the viewership during that slot, really. So if you're that analytical, you will use much lesser money to build your own brand while building the brand. So my advice to entrepreneurs would be, if you're gonna spend, measure it. Measure the spend. If you can't measure it, don't spend. Second is, I think social media will play a big role. We'll have to all come to a new era where brands are now not getting built on television. Brands are now getting built with experiences people share with each other. So are your customers sharing the experiences they've had with the product or offering or service on LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta, wherever, right? Are they influencing decisions of others? Real brand is built by consumers, not by icons. You have to basically create experiences that make the brand happen. And I think that's the biggest one I would put is our focus. Can we create an experience of consumers that builds a brand within consumers? This can only amplify a bit, but real meat lies there.
Good, Amit, and I'm just drawing parallels to some of the other business leaders and founders I've been speaking with. And I think one of the interesting things I'm learning, and this is not something just today, but many of you start with content aggregation, classifieds, categorization, driving traffic, and that brings you to consumer intent, and then you go about aggregating the fragmented part of India, which is, as you rightly said, we are supply constrained, we are capital starved in many parts of the ecosystem, maybe not at the manufacturing end, but clearly on the used car shop, so to speak. And then you start going deeper into asset purchase and asset creation. When I say asset, it's mean building these Gadi stores, building a balance sheet, whether in partnership. Now, this, it's always fascinated me, and I'm a very old-fashioned banker who's now getting to be a little bit more, forward-thinking with talking to people like you. This is not how Indian businesses or global businesses ever thought. मुझे एक manufacturing plant लगाना है. I will appoint, let's say, so many dealers. This is how successful models have happened. And when I look at your if I just take a 10-year snapshot, okay, there are so many business model shifts and perhaps deeper vertically integrated than what you had imagined in 2009-10.
Totally.
Ardeko would ever be. And then you juxtapose that to India's own journey on consumer consumption, different patterns, etc. I mean, to me, it's fascinating that how people like you have actually gone so deep and are almost like a combination of a dealer, of a factory which actually validates vehicles inspections, as well as being the nervous system for financial services, including insurance, and because through you everything flows, and actually also being a consumer first company. I mean, this is fascinating. That's all has happened in the last 10 years, perhaps more in the last 5 years than in the first five. Just help us oldies understand, how does this work? It works so fast. What have we missed as traditional,
I
well-meaning?
think I'll tell you frankly, for a digital company to do go offline, understand, when you spoke about the traditional way, it was about distribution. So what are the big companies all about? I have the largest distribution, I'm the biggest company. It was all about that. Now imagine when distribution pivots into digital. So there's it's nobody's Jagir anymore, right?
Yeah.
You're basically not touching the consumer at every nook and corner of the country because you just need a website as an asset or an app as an asset. It's a digital asset. So suddenly, what pivoted every business, suddenly in the new era was how fast the people converted online and how fast people starting looking at things online. That changed the distribution landscape of the country completely, and Geo only further fueled it. Now coming to the asset part, I'll be very honest. We are not a asset company really. We are a tech company which is willing to bet on assets because of our data.
Hmm.
Now imagine I've been running a classified platform for good donkey, 12 years. So much data I have, which pin code, what Lajpat Nagar में क्या गाड़ी जाती है मुझे पता है. कौन सा डीलर क्या रखता है वो पता है. But you a dime of data, you can now make smarter moves. You don't have to start afresh like आज क्या गाड़ी खरीदूं, कितने में खरीदूं. The machine learning algorithm that tells me what to buy. The machine learning algorithm, it tells me how much will be spent on refurbishment of this vehicle. I don't have to even put human on it. No technician is required to tell me how much it will take to, it's just a visual scan, and my machine learning technology tells me this panel will be replaced, this panel will be repainted, this panel will be repaired. And from the CRM it pulls out how much will it cost. I exactly know before buying how much is a refurbishment cost.
Hmm.
So imagine when tech companies come into this space, they come with a tech mindset, technology first. We don't think we are an auto company at all. We think we are a tech company who happen to be an auto as an asset.
Hmm.
Could have been any asset. It could have been mobile. It really wouldn't have bothered me.
Yeah.
The power that comes out is the billions and billions of data points we have, gathered across this. In our database, practically all India is sitting who owns cars. We know whom to target, when to target, when he bought his previous car, when he'll sell.
Hmm.
There was so much intelligence lying here in the data. And I think that's where we differ from how traditional companies work. Because when we even open a store, right? Say if you're going to open a retail store, we would put the stuff that sells in the 10-year radius because we have collected data signals for 10 years now of that pin code on what's happening there really. What and at what price the stuff will sell. It's not just about selection and the mix, it's also about which aging car you want to put, at what price, which color. Like in pin code A, a black color, maybe fast moving because South Delhi, and in a separate, say, Pritampura, white cars move faster because there's a lot of dust around and no bungalows. So you can see those color choices also being made basis that. So with so much data, Rajiv, you can actually plan your retail. It's like I know what you need. I'm right next to you now. So I don't have to keep the whole inventory anymore. I'll keep a very small selection because I know what's out there. And
Yeah.
at the back, I'm creating this whole digital world where I can sell you what is not there in the store. You order it and it will come to you. So treat my website like a shop now, and you can buy a car online, and that's where we've been talking about how these financial journeys will have to be automated digitally, and how new age banks like RBL can change the game
No,
by.
so I want to share two anecdotes with the viewers. And I remember having spoken to you in early 2019, and I don't think anybody guessed it, but you told me that through your consumer intent, which is where people coming to your site, you are sensing that there's going to be a slowdown in the primary sales of vehicles. I mean, and then India saw that evolve over the next 6-9 months. And I don't know if you remember one conversation.
I do.
And the summer of 2020, when we were all rightfully very, very anxious about COVID, both at a personal level and at the economy level, you told me, Rajiv, 3 months mein auto sales will go through the roof. Okay. And I just want to bring this, kind of story to the viewers that, the intent which you're seeing, the data which you're seeing, and then you're looking at it backward and saying, how do I make the journey more and more efficient? Which means not just data technology, but also some partnerships and assets is crucial to how you build businesses, at least in many areas in modern industry. I mean, in the traditional industry, it was a supply driven economies of scale. 1 million कार प्लांट है तो 5 million करो तभी आपकी कॉस्ट नीचे आएगी because it was a supply starved world. Today, and this is all new economics, but we are a demand attention starved world, and this is where platforms like yours play. Now, I'm speculating that given you have so much of lead gen and so much of data, you can actually go back to the car manufacturer and say, boss, you are planning this model for next year. They want it today. How do you go and make your engineering line so flexible that you can launch it in 3 months and I'll give you the data and where to sell it? Maybe this is.
No, I think Rajiv, you're telling the right thing. I exactly know what the trends are. Like the very fact that I've seen, I'm just talking about last January to this January, okay? The sub 4 meter compact SUV segment has grown online in online world 4x, and sub 4 meter sedan segment is dying, it's shrinking, yeah, it's going down, and the other one is I exactly know what manufacturers should be focused on. The where is India focused on? In terms of good part, Rajiv, is that like you rightly said, the data signals, right? Car buying journey is an engaged journey of months. It starts with like 4 5 months before consumer comes, start looking at things, and we have an AI algorithm which scores him. When is he ready to buy? Because based on the behavior that he does. So, for example, if he has watched my video for 5 minutes versus 30 seconds, how many pictures of the car did he buy? Did he go to the color section of the car? Which color did he stop at? Right? How many seconds he stopped at that particular picture of red color versus white will tell me which color he'll buy. So what I've realized now, Rajiv, is that the data is so insane. I can even advise manufacturers what should be the color mix on your production plant in a particular city, because I exactly know what colors is being washed. Right now, manufacturers just make white cars, literally most of them, right? And that's what sells. It's a cyclic loop. But honestly, I can predict a lot of pattern in advance because of the fact that journey starts 6 months before. So I can see the future much in advance as online platform on what's really going to happen 6 months out. I could predict COVID through the roof sales because I was seeing live highest traffic even before COVID ended. And I was seeing my site, I had to put new servers onto the platform. I couldn't even handle the load. It was going beyond Diwali of last year. I was like, what's happening? This is going to go crazy now. And that's exactly what happened. Still, there is a supply demand mismatch.
This brings me to an important juncture, and I really commend that you have laid it down in such a very simple way. As you see the next 3-5 years of Car Dekho and let's talk about the auto business. Okay, so what I understand that consumer intent, data led, whether owning cars for larger and larger number of millennials and whatever generation you talk about goes into a service. I mean, and again, I agree that today COVID has actually sharpened that we want experiences, we don't necessarily want assets. And at least I can say that housing, at least for a certain segment and certain type, could become that over time. I mean, if we are seeing that in housing, maybe it's slower because housing is still a very emotive, generational asset. And people want to own houses because when houses do not appreciate in value the way they used to, and cars certainly no longer, they actually depreciate the moment you leave the
Sure.
showroom, and the whole, as the cohort changes. So if you were to now go forward and try to build a dot pattern for our viewers, what are the two or three things which you are grabbing your attention, where you'd like to see things evolve, and where Cardeco will test out a few things? What we've understood so far is great. Take a 3-5 year view ahead, more from a consumer, society, ownership, mobility perspective.
I think there is going to be a rapid shift, Rajiv, with advent of EVs also. I am
Yeah.
also loving EVs. Well, when we think of 5 year out, you'll start seeing advent of EVs. All these bikes will become electronic. EVs will first reach in bikes, and then it'll come to four wheelers also. Right now, battery cost is a little high, but imagine a new world where there are only 20 moving parts
Yeah.
in the car. And EV is exactly that, and there's no service required. If something happens, the part is replaced. It's not even repaired. It is taken to the factory, repaired, refurbished separately. But that's how it's going to work. Imagine a new world where its car is fully connected. It's technology is all there. You are basically tracking the whole thing. Battery signals. There are battery power points. Like petrol pumps. You will see a new world now where people will start seeing this as a mobility as a service. Is how I see it.
Mm.
Irrespective of whether EV's advent happens or not, the ways of mobility are going to change significantly, and each manufacturer will have to prepare itself for the new mobility ways. People may not want to own a vehicle. They may, जैसे आपका एयरटेल का connection है, it's like Netflix का connection है. Why can't car be a connection? Think about from that perspective, right? So I personally believe no consumer wants to haggle for prices. No consumer wants to see his depreciated asset and then try to figure out best price to sell, maintain it himself, stand in service queues, stand in, tire खत्म हो गया, tire का rate पता करो, battery खत्म हो गई, nobody wants that. Nobody wants haggle in life. Consumer wants peace of mind and mobility as a service. Have you ever thought कि एयरटेल का टावर कैसे चलता है, या एयरटेल के अंदर उनको क्या प्रॉब्लम आती होगी इंटरनेट के? That's their problem. I want it as a service, and I'm happy. I don't want to figure that out. Similarly, in cars, what will start happening is I would be looking at mobility as a service to me, and I would want a rapid amount of change, a variety. If I'm gonna go this weekend to a off-roading trip, I would want a different mobility solution, and if I'm in the city, I want a different mobility solution. And a year out, I want to change my mobility solution. I don't want to say nobody lives with even a mobile phone for more than a year or two these days. Forget about it. Right now, the way we operate in India, it's going to change, and the shifts will be faster, and you will see more rotation. And the new generation wants to try, explore new varieties, new things, and you will start seeing a rapid shift towards mobility as a service 5 year out. And that's how I believe. And Karthik could probably, better placed in that cohort if you were to ask my view. Because, we'll be partnering with, OEMs and their dealers to create these solutions, because we are a multi-brand solution eventually.
Yeah.
I'm not a Hyundai, I'm not a Maruti, I'm not a Tata, I'm not a Honda. We are Karthiko, which creates mobility across brands. It's a multi-brand mobility, right? That's what I believe will be the most powerful. To create all these solutions that I just spoke about, you have to think of Indian consumer who always seeks value. Now we have to basically create an insane amount of value and not cut any pie of profit of anybody who owns today. And that's where the sweet spot will lie of mobility.
I think some of the stuff you talked about, and got last 10, 12 years of innovation on your business model. So you keep saying tech. I think tech is an amplifier, a driver. I think it's your mind and your connectivity with so many different kinds of people, and whether it's the used car shop or an OEM or a consumer, is what is important. Because tech, everybody has tech. It's how you use it,
Yeah.
and how you use that as a core part of your thinking is what I'm learning. And some of the stuff which you've done uh, as you evolved your business model, going almost, to use a phrase which you guys are fond of, full stack in some senses, you know, is, and rapidly. So it's not a 5 year plan. It's like, let's try. If it works, we'll go. And these are important lessons for people like us, because while banking is a little preserved world, regulated world, I would say 70-80% of banking, as I say, anything which touches the consumer has already evolved in a material way outside the four walls of the bank. the four walls of the ATM or the two dimension of the mobile app. So, we all have to agree that a lot of our services have to get embedded into the primary journey which the consumer wants to take. Uh, and one of the humbling experiences I've witnessed in my 10 years in RBL is that customers come to the bank only when they have a problem with the bank, or they are not very well versed with the new tools and technology. So I think this is a very important lesson for us, that we have to be where the customer journeys primarily originate and want to stay. I think that goes for a lot of service providers, insurance companies, assayers. I'm seeing that happen in many areas which are thought to be very, very, very traditional. Gold finance has been broken up into many pieces now, and people are now recombining all the aspects of thing. So this is a lesson for all of us, Amit. So thanks a lot for educating through your experiences. So I keep saying these founder sessions are like mini MBAs, but done with a lot of heart and soul. Last session, Amit, I want to just ask you, what have been your inspirations over the last 12, 13 years as you built this out? Uh, you know, when you have been little down, who have you looked up to? What have you looked up to? And if there are few messages, I know you've shared some messages for the entrepreneurs. What would those be? If you want to encapsulate that.
Look, founder's life, from the outside looks like, a glory life, build Karthik with. Actually, real journey very different. There's more failures and less successes.
Okay.
You actually struggle more than, you succeed. And still date also, I can tell you, I fail more often than I succeed. While it looks rosy from outside, there are many skeletons in the backyard, let's put it that way, right? So I think the persistence and resilience, is one of the key factors that makes founders happen. If you believe you'll find a way. रास्ता बदल जाएगा, जाना कहाँ पता है, जब तक इधर से जाओगे उधर से जाओगे, that's fine, but that resilience and perseverance, no, is unmatched, and that's what basically keeps us going. I think I find happiness in my work mostly, and then I find happiness in other things. So I think I would treat Karthik as my first baby, and then my kid is the second baby. Agility, if you are not disrupting fast, the only weapon you have against bigger giants or bigger companies is your agility, because that's the only thing that cannot be replicated in a large boardroom,
So,
which can be replicated in a small, garage room, right? And I fear only this. I tell my team, we won't get beaten down by a big company. If we were to get beaten down, we'll be beaten down by somebody sitting in a garage like we were at a point of time. So keep an eye open, acquire, partner. Do not compete with smart ones. Get them in. But that's how we look at the ecosystem of startup entrepreneurs. And I love entrepreneurs with bubbling. It's so much passion. They talk so differently. I see myself in so many young entrepreneurs I meet. How things evolved. But that's, I think, how I would basically put my messages to the young entrepreneurs. And just stay hungry, stay foolish. Steve Jobs said that, and I believe that fully.
Excellent, Amit. And I'm very sure there are many people who have been silently inspired by your conversation over the last 12, 13 years. And this is the only way entrepreneurship works. We all get inspired by something, and then we also pay it forward. On that amazing note, thank you so much for sharing your vision, sharing your journey, and sharing some stuff which I had never known. And I'm in awe of people like you, that you are creating something truly magical, which will help a lot of people. And in that process, our Dekhos of the world will create a new India over the next 5, 10 years. So all power to you.
Thanks, Rajiv. Looking forward to partner and create new India.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.